Joining us now, boy, this could be a big day, quite possibly. U.S. federal judge is going to hear arguments today on whether or not to release the search warrant affidavit to that out to the public concerning the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Joining us now from Young Americans for Liberty, Mr. Sean Themea, with his take on that. Sean, it's great to have you on your morning wake-up.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here.
So, what do you think? Yeah, isn't this the same judge that actually gave the go-ahead for the search?
That's my understanding, yeah. So I wouldn't hold my breath on anything being released today. I mean, the Federal Bureau of Intimidation doesn't even respond to Congress and the Government Accountability Office when they ask for transparency on some of their investigations. So why the heck would they reveal their cards for a targeting of a former president? You know, one of the only former presidents of recent who was not pro-war and not pro-intelligence community, and a lot believe that that's why they're coming after him. So for years, I mean, we haven't been able to trust this agency. I mean, they've targeted people who opposed World War I all the way back to its founding. They targeted civil rights leaders. They targeted churches in the 80s who opposed regime change in Latin America. I mean, this agency will not act in the best interest of the American people. They're going to protect the regime, and they're going to protect the regime at all costs.
You know, I never thought about that, but you're right. If you think about it, it doesn't matter liberal or conservative. If you are what they would deem to be, in my opinion, what they deem to be a threat, boy, you're on the list. Remember John Lennon, for crying out loud. John Lennon, hold hands, sing Kumbaya, John Lennon of the Beatles. He was on their target list forever, wasn't he? I think so.
Yeah, that rings a bell to me, and it's just insane. I mean, these people are just tools of whoever is in D.C. They're going to enforce their will at the barrel of a gun. And the one silver lining to them targeting Trump is that it is waking up people like never before to the fact that maybe the FBI should be defunded, abolished, or at the very least not trusted to be fair and impartial. When you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene and Bernie Sanders' former press secretary both saying, hey, defund the FBI, yeah, I think they're on to something. There's that kind of unity.
Yeah, and I think just a general Joe on the street tends to think of the FBI as the G-men back in the mobster days, right? And we needed them, you know, and Elliot Ness and all of that. But the FBI came around shortly after all of that and prohibition, and then quickly, I think, it kind of went downhill. So okay, are we on a fast track here to seeing Donald Trump in an orange jumpsuit? It just seems like every turn of the key, they try to go after him for something just to get like I said, in the orange jumpsuit.
I think we should be prepared for them to try and indict him. Now, whether or not it will stick, I don't know. We don't have enough facts on that yet, whether they're trumped-up charges, no pun intended, or what. He has fought back, you know, like him or not, he has fought back and won against the deep state in many steps of the way, you know, all the way back to the day he came down that escalator. So the jury's out, again, no pun intended. I'm not trying here. The jury's out on whether or not he's actually going to be arrested or put into a jumpsuit, but I think they are going to try. You know, the Biden administration and their goons are going to try and do everything they can to stop this guy from running in 2024. And even if they are successful, I think it's a huge bonehead mistake that's going to mobilize more Republican voters and wake people up to the fact that you can't trust the government more than ever.
Yeah, well, we've said that yesterday. We were talking yesterday about no matter what they throw at Donald Trump, he always tends to knock it out of the park, and it just strengthens the base. And at some point, you would think that his opponents would go like, okay, let's just back off and stop trying to get him in jail because we're just hurting ourselves here. We're talking with Sean Themea from Young Americans for Liberty. Today, I don't know, by the end of the day, we're going to know this answer, aren't we, if the affidavit comes out or not?
I wouldn't hold my breath if the affidavit to be released today. I mean, Again, the FBI doesn't even respond to Congress, the Government Accountability Office, when they say, please give us transparency. They just tap dance around it. So I'd be very surprised if we had answers today. But, hey, stranger things have happened, so we will see.
What is in this affidavit? Because you can say the word affidavit, and this is boing, boom, boom, and they say it's a national security problem. But what on earth could be a problem with national security?
Well, from what I've heard, the rumor is that they were targeting him, and they went into his home specifically because that he allegedly took home some nuclear codes or something pertaining to nuclear security. This is what I've heard. Now, you raise the question of, well, did he declassify that information before he left office? And it'd be I never underestimate the government's incompetence in this country. But wouldn't it be silly to not change the nuclear codes immediately after someone leaves office, or even multiple times when they are in office? So who knows if those codes are even good or not? So we will see. That's what I understand the alleged cause of the warrant to be, but that will remain to be seen. But, look, you just look at the last 6 years. They wiretapped this guy's campaign based off of a doctored email from an FBI lawyer who is now on probation, by the way. They very quietly punished him for that. They pretend that Hunter Biden and his laptops don't even exist and is Russian disinformation. They rewrite the laws with Clinton, who, even if Trump did take home some information, Clinton had 10 times more on her private server. And they wrote that off as, oh, that was just careless. Oh, that wasn't really a crime. So, even if they do, quote unquote, get him, people aren't going to buy it.
Right. I really don't see, although there have been things in the news concerning Donald Trump and going after him that I never thought I would see. And then you see things happening. But I just, even if it gets, like you said, to that level, and let's say it does. I'm talking about an indictment or that kind of a thing. It is going to fire up the base. But you do have to admit, there's kind of a kooky, nutty sort of a segment of that base that is a little dangerous. You got to watch out for. You can't have a off the end craziness, because that just fuels the opposition.
Yeah, speaking of that fringe part of the base, you remember the Whitmer, kidnapping plot from a couple of years ago, and they said, oh, look at these crazy Trump extremists. Guess who was on the inside and who really fired up that whole operation? The FBI. They're going out there and trapping people and creating extremists. They try and say, oh, look at these violent extremist Trump supporters. They have the track record of violent extremism more than anybody. So I agree with you. Violence is not the answer, and there's certainly a fringe base to any movement. But, I think if you look at the most fringe, crazy, dangerous people, they're in D.C. They're in the deep state.
Boy, are they ever. And you know what? And like him or not, like you said before, like him or not, Donald Trump is probably the first president ever, if not at least in a long time, that pulled the layers back, because he just did not care. You know what? He went in there and he said, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm not a politician. I'm a business guy, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull this back. And he even said it went way deeper than even he thought, the corruption and conspiracy and all of that. But, you got to give them that. You got to give them that. Sean, we're up on time. I appreciate your time here. Sean Themea from Young Americans for Liberty. Go have a great day, all right? Oh, by the way, if you had the option to have a bidet or not a bidet in your hotel or indeed your home, yes or no?
I'm going to go with no on this one. It seems like the safe answer.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm going to put that down in the column. I think I'm winning on this one. My wife and I are having the fight. So, all right, buddy. Have a great day. See you later.
Thanks. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, that's true. We have more compelling talk radio here on your Morning Wake Up, 1320 WILS.